Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and this amazing series. I'm Aditya. In this series we are using Next.js and Garchi CMS to create a headless e-commerce app. So without any further ado, let's begin. Okay, so in this video we are gonna see how to authenticate the user. So in last video we saw how to create the cart page. Oops, sorry. It's just the Chrome. Okay, so we saw how to create this cart page and how to render our cart items. Now next thing is we need to continue in the checkout flow. So we have two options. We could have the authenticated user or the guest user. So the guest user needs to fill in the details again and again. For the authenticated user, they just need to fill in the details once and then they can have to go, or they could go with the express checkout method. So let's see the authenticated method way, and for that I have a login page over here. So I'm going to use Garchi's login API. So make sure to use the login API. You need to use the register API first. So you register a customer and then you use the login API. Now it's not necessary that you have to use Garchi CMS authentication method or Garchi CMS APIs for authentication. You could use other authentications like Firebase or your own authentication or AWS Amplify authentication, whichever you prefer. What matters is whenever you are making an order request, or whenever, like when I say order request, it refers to the order API, you're sending the customer details correctly. At that time, if you are using a third-party authentication, when I say third-party, which is Firebase or your own authentication or any other authentication, then in that case, you need to make sure that you are passing the customer's detail as a guest user. Even though they are logged in user, you have to pass them as a guest user. Let's see now, going back to the customer API or the login API. So we just need to pass the email and password. I'm not going to show the register API because it's exactly the same like login API, where you pass some extra details like first name, last name, password confirmation, password. So password confirmation refers to this password field again typed in back again. So you just need to make sure like the customers has type the correct password. So there is something like password then confirm password, so that password confirmation refers to the confirmed password. Then the contact details like phone number, so this is just a string, and can notify. So suppose you are having newsletters or promotional offers and you want to notify the user and you need to make sure that the user has given you the permissions, then in that case can notify could be helpful. So I'm also going to use this Nookies package. So it's a Next.js package for cookies, but you can also use with Express. So as we are using Next, so we will just use this. So what it does is it allows us to set cookies or do the cookies management swiftly. So I'll be using this package, and also as I've created this form, so I'll just show you how it looks like. So to begin with, we have the center card and the colored layer component being imported. So colored layer refers to this background. You will see this slight gray layer, this one. So this is the colored layer. Then you have the center card. So this center card refers to this white box over here. And if I show you the center card component, it's very simple actually. It's just a div with grid layout with having place item center, so that everything is in the center, and then we have the card inside it. So this card is just that white box. Then going back to the login.js over here, so let's close this so there's no confusion. So we have some states, so email and password, so users email and password when they enter, and error messages, one for email, one for password. So we just need to make sure that the email, like if there are any error messages related to emails or password, we are catching them and displaying them. Now the handle login function is referring to, or is handling the submit event or on submit event of this form. So whenever there is on submit, then we will have this handle login function run. So we will prevent the default action, which is navigating the form here and there and just keeping it there itself. Then clearing the error messages, and then making the local API call. So local API refers to our server side logic of API, and then our local API is going to make sure that it only takes in the post method, it's not taking in the get or any other method. Then we will have a try catch block, because we need to make sure that when we make a request to this login, because this login now refers to Garchi CMS API login API, there we need to pass email and password. So we will pass those details, and if suppose there is a validation error or some other server error, then we will catch it in this catch block and send it through this response. Also, once this is done correctly, then we will get the user details, and then we will pass those user details, or first we'll console them and then we'll pass those user details to the front end over here. But before that, we will also need to encrypt certain things and store it in the HTTP only cookie. So how this works is, we need to, like, there is no refresh or access token, so we need to store this user data or something of that user somewhere securely, so that we can make sure that the user is logged in or not if we are using this login API. If you are using Firebase or if you are using another authentication method, then you need to follow the separate route. But this is one of those routes which you could use to store user information securely. I'm not saying this is 100% secure because there are loopholes here and there, but what you could do is you could encrypt the user data, which is here I'm referring to UID, so I'm encrypting the UID. I'm just decrypting here to make sure that the encrypt decrypt works fine, so I'll just comment this out, and also from here. So what this encrypt and decrypt are doing is they are coming from this, we don't need this, they are coming from this assets security.js file, which we have over here, asset security.js. So inside this asset security.js we have two functions being exported, which is encrypt and decrypt. So we will be using this crypto.js library. So this crypto.js library has some 4-5 or more encryption algorithms. So one of them is AES. So we'll be using AES algorithm. So from this AES algorithm, we'll be using this encrypt function. So in this encrypt function, we need to pass the text or the plain text that we want to encrypt and the secret. Now make sure that this secret is very important, because this secret will be used to encrypt the data and also decrypt the data. So if this secret that you pass during encryption is different than decrypt process, then there will be some problem. So I have stored that secret inside our env file, and it's just a random string which is around 32 characters. So you need to have like a 32 character string, or you could have more. And then whenever you encrypt it, it is going to return you an object, but we just want the encryption string. So in that object there is a there is a toString function. So that toString function will return us the encrypted string. Now when you are decrypting it, it's just the exact opposite of encryption. So here we will be passing the just AES algorithm decrypt, and then passing the cipher text, which is the encrypted text, same secret, and then we will convert the whatever data we're gonna get decrypted, because it's again gonna be an object. From there we want to call the toString function, and then we just need to decrypt or the actually encrypted string and convert it into a string and pass it as a normal human readable string. So this is all this function is doing. This catch block will make sure that if there is an error while decrypting this or during this decryption process, if something goes wrong, this catch block will come handy. So it will just return false if something goes wrong. So going back to the login API again, so we will just encrypt it, and once we encrypt, we will set the cookie. Now from these cookies, actually I want to involve set cookie or import set cookie, and then from set cookie I'm saying, okay, for this response I want to set a cookie of UID, and the value of that UID is this encrypted data, whatever we are encrypting, that encrypted string. Then here I'm passing for how long I want to keep this. So if I want to keep the user logged in till they log out for, let's say, 30 days, then I will do this thing, which is 30 into 24 into 60 into 60, because this takes value in seconds. But suppose if I want to do it for just 1 day or so, for now I'll just keep it for 1 day, so I'll just do 24 into 60 into 60. So here I'm going to say value in seconds, so that when you guys see it, you'll see this comment, so it will be like a reference. And then here I'm going to say like the path is just root path, and I want to keep this cookie strictly HTTP only. Now HTTP only cookies are only accessed by the server, they cannot be accessed by the browser. So we will keep this cookie HTTP only, and then we will just send a response. So if there is a user data, we'll just send it back. If there is no user, we'll just send it blank. So after that, like once we receive the user data here, we can like console it, and when I hit enter or if I log in, then you will see that we are getting this error message. So this is how it handles errors. Now if I just log in normally, and let me put the correct password, there we go, and something has happened. So let me see what has happened. So here it is. So this is our encrypted text. Oh, and that's our user details. So this we will be saving in our not this user details, but the UID will be storing it in our cookies. Now suppose if you want to forget password, or if you want to reset the password of the user, because sometimes it's, or rather most of the time it happens that we forget our password and then you want to go to the forget password procedure. So in that case, what you could do is you could use the email address of the user and use this list customers API to get the list of customers. When you pass the email address, then it will filter the user according to the email addresses and give you only that user, and then you will get the user ID, your UID, that will be useful to use with this API. So here you will use the UID, the new password, and the password confirmation to reset the password. But also you need to make sure is that this API considers that you have already sent the password reset link to the user. So just need to make sure that the link is sent via email, because just as a security standard, and then you're using this API to reset the password. Now we have the user ID. Now we can use it to hide this login and register, because that's our way to see whether the user is logged in or not. So how we could use it? Now we have two options. One is using get server-side props, so we have to use it in each page. So in card.js, index.js, login.js, register.js, in every page we have to use it and pass it as a prop to our header and see if it works. The other way to do it is making a Axios request from this header and toggling this based on whether there is a cookie set or not. Now because you cannot use get server side props inside the components, so what we could do is, like, there will be a flicker, like this will show, and then the API Axios request will work, and then this will hide, so there will be a slight flicker. So what we could do is we could hide the header first, and then we will when the header comes up, we can say okay whether it is authenticated user or not, and based on that we can show the states. So I'll show you how to do that quickly. Well, for that I will take here const is logged in, set is logged in, and here I'm going to take use state as false, because by default it's going to be not logged in. And then here I will have const show head menu and set show menu. It's just to avoid the flicker. So use state false. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say here use effect. It's actually the view thing, the mount, but here we need to do use effect, and here I'm gonna make an API call if show menu is true. It's true. And here I'm gonna say local API dot check get login status. So that's my API route that I'm gonna check it quickly now. So res, and then what we could do is here you can say a new file login status .js export default default handler, and here then I'm gonna say if request.cookie.uid then response.status 200 JSON logged in. It's gonna be true, or rather I could do something like this: if there is a cookie then logged in is true, else false. And then over here we could make that API call and res.data or res.data. Now if I see back over here, so it's a request failed. Okay, we make function. Okay, let's give it a try. And if I so this should be cookies, not cookies, so cookies, and if we refresh this, everything is good. And if we see in the console, so we see logged in as true, that's great. Then what we need to do here is inside our header, so here I'm gonna say letter here actually. So set is logged in, rest.data, whatever is the state, and then after this I'm gonna say set show menu as true. So this will finish first and then this will come in picture. So here I'm gonna say for these two links here is logged in, like if it is not logged in, and then I could use a fragment, wrap this two in the fragment and push this over here, and there we go. Perfect. So let's see what do we have. So if I go back over here, refresh the page, you'll see that it's not like the register and login is not there. So this is how you could have like you can avoid that flicker and then everything is well set. So now next thing is here in our cart page we just need to put in the payment options and other things and just proceed forward. So we'll do that in the next video. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you feel this video is worth sharing with your network, please do share it with your network. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. So see you in the next video. Till the next time, goodbye.